6:45 is the time. This morning, we are looking at one of the world's most popular gaming platforms for kids. It's called Roblox. And parents, if you know that name, you probably also know it can be hard to get your child to put it down. Roblox has 60 million daily users, and nearly 70% of them are under 16. But its unique user-created content also makes it popular among adults. That's why experts say it's critical to have the right parental controls in place.
It's a really, really bizarre world in Roblox.
Lori Stenson is in a multi-level challenge of her own, trying to keep up with her 10-year-old daughter's online gaming. Hannah has been playing Roblox for a few years now, but Lori says she was the last of her friends to join.
It just is frightening knowing that there's the ability that people you don't know have access to speak to your child, your young, impressionable child. That doesn't sit well with me.
Roblox allows users to play a wide variety of games, create games, and chat with others, essentially combining online play and social media.
It's one game with hundreds of thousands of games on it where you can join your friends.
Initially it's friends, but friends know other people, and friends have the ability to go on. Maybe they don't have the same safety, and they've made friends with somebody that they shouldn't be friends with. So that possibility to me is always going to be out there, and so we always have to look at it and check and see what's going on.
Well, under the age of 13, parents, we have to know who their friends are on this app. Who are they following? Who's following them? Like any other social network, but especially at this vulnerable age.
Online security expert John Moffitt has dedicated his career to researching Roblox and other apps popular with kids so he can educate parents, teachers, and children about the very real risks. He says the same features that make Roblox so appealing can also be a gateway to places where kids encounter violence, profanity, and strangers.
It's not always bad. It's not like just because a stranger's talking, it probably is another little kid. You know, it's not necessarily all bad. We don't want to put this fear like every single interaction you have online is a potential danger. It's mitigating those dangers as much as possible.
The very first time we set it up for her, we didn't know all of the different rules about there's an option to chat or to opt out of that, and somebody actually texted in, "Hi, do you want to go in a separate room and chat?" And Hannah's like, "Oh, somebody's asking if I want to chat." I'm driving and I flipped around. I tried to grab the iPad from her and I lost my mind. I'm like, this is why I don't want to do this.
Lori says they immediately figured out how to turn off the chat feature on Hannah's account, a safety step John recommends every parent look into. But he adds the most important thing about all of this is that your kids feel like they can come to you, not if, but when something inappropriate happens online.
And we have to get rid of that stigma of like, it's going to get taken away if you tell us. And that to me is the most important takeaway of all.
If you ever saw anything bad, would you just tell your parents?
Yeah, you can report that person. The Roblox creators would see that and they would get logged out of Roblox for a week or something.
Even though we have the safety options on, there's going to be people that know how to get through it at some point, you know, that are going to be able to get to her, and that's not okay. So am I going to stop her from playing it? No. Are we going to stay on top of what she is playing while she's on it to the best that we can?
We are just scratching the surface when it comes to what's possible in the world of Roblox. Our cybersecurity expert also talked about more violent and scary games your kids could be playing, and even the risk of getting scammed through the app. So parents, here are some tips to give your child the best and safest experience possible. First, you should set up their account. That way you get a little familiar with the app and you know the age is accurate. That will also filter out experiences you don't want them to have, games you don't want them to play based on their age. Next, turn off or limit the chat feature and voice chat. Voice chat shouldn't even show up as an option if they are under 13. Then make sure your child understands how to block and report someone, and let them know it is okay to do it on a regular basis. Finally, don't let them play with headphones on. That way you can hear everything that they are hearing. Now, don't worry, I know this is a lot of information, so I have posted slides on our website that walk you through all of this and how to turn on some of these parental controls. All you have to do is look for this story on our homepage right now. Just head to CBS12.com.
Living in South Florida, the chances of you getting your identity stolen are actually higher than if you lived in any other major metropolitan area. That, according to a recent study done by credit card aggregator Upgraded Points. CBS 12's Katie Benty joins us live in downtown West Palm Beach with details on why this is happening and what you can do to protect yourself. Katie.
Liz, this is something that happens to anyone, anywhere. And while there are countless examples of identity theft and fraud, the bottom line is those who fall victim to it could lose all of their money and good credit standing. Now, keeping that in mind, that's so important to take the necessary steps to ensure that your private information stays private.
South Florida is once again ranked #1 in identity theft fraud across the U.S.
And that is because there is a greater population of older people who tend to be easily more preyed upon.
Last year, more than 50,000 reports of identity theft were made in the Miami metro area, which includes Palm Beach County. That's according to a recent study done by Upgraded Points.
The advancements in technology have undoubtedly opened up new avenues for scams and fraudulent activities. And like everything else that seems to happen, somehow it relates back to Florida.
While it does spike here in Florida, this form of fraud is seen all over, and more often since the pandemic.
With COVID, people staying at home, doing more online shopping, utilizing digital platforms with respect to purchasing and using credit cards.
Putting your personal information online puts your identity as a whole at risk. Preventing that from happening can be as easy as setting up fraud protection with your bank. Second guess anyone asking for your social security number, and be wary of unknown phone calls and unauthenticated emails. Because if you aren't careful, everything you have could be gone before you know it.
Usually we see this being an organized group, most of the time situated outside the territory of the United States. So by the time you even become aware of it, your money is long since gone. It's in another account, many, many times removed, and the likelihood of you getting back your money is almost nearly impossible.
Now, like I said, this isn't just here in Florida. According to the Federal Trade Commission, nearly 3 million reports of identity theft were made in 2021, which cost victims upwards of $6 billion.
New tonight, Florida's top law enforcement agency just announced sexual assault survivors across the state can now have access to a tool where they can track their evidence collection kit. This online tracking database will go a long way to give rape survivors easier access to information about their case. CBS 12's Lily Ortiz joins us in the studio tonight with how it's already making an impact in Palm Beach County.
Through this tracking system, survivors can now take charge in knowing what is going on at all times, including any updates about their investigation. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement just announced its new tracking system for rape kits that will allow survivors easier access to information about their cases. It's now available all across Florida. Several counties in Florida tested it out this year. It was launched in Palm Beach County just last month.
We began this on April 25th. And so thus far, we've had about 12 victims who have been able to access the information about their kits. We're looking forward to its continued growth and usage over the years.
Nicole Bishop is the director of Palm Beach County Victim Services. Many nurses there administer rape kits countywide before it's given to area law enforcement.
We're very fortunate that we have a local crime lab that tests all of our kits and we don't have to send them away and wait.
This is how the so-called track kit system works. Survivors are given a barcode and can access a secure website to see where their kits with their DNA are in the process.
It's your DNA that is leaving your possession. And I think that it just gives people comfort knowing that they have the ability to track it and say, okay, now it is left the forensic exam site. Now it's in law enforcement. Law enforcement has taken it to the crime lab. The crime lab is testing it.
The state has come a long way after the FDLE found 13,000 untested rape kits in 2015. Then new initiatives and laws mandated a rape kit be tested shortly after it is administered. In 2021, the state legislature then passed Gale's Law, which required the FDLE to create a tracking system for these kids. Now survivors can have access to the critical information they deserve, as a web-based tracking system is officially available in all of Florida's 67 counties. And we're learning survivors can even receive alerts if their kit yields a DNA match to an alleged perpetrator. In the studio, I'm Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News.
Remember, help is always available. The National Sexual Assault Hotline number is right there on your screen, 1-800-656-4673. Someone is available 24 hours a day.